Hello viewers, it's Teaching Learning Parenting Show today, and out here today I came to visit one of our teachers, Miss Courage Bulekawa, and Miss Courage has been a teacher over 4 years now, and she's been an excellent teacher. I've been opportunity to work with her way back, and she's an excellent teacher. She loves her pupils, she takes care of them, she has a very beautiful relationship with the parents. And so today we're going to be looking at the topic, what do teachers expect from their stakeholders? And so I'm going to be having this conversation with Miss Courage today. My name is Monica. So Miss Courage, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you. I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you also for, because it was a short notice. I told you I was going to come to visit
Yeah.
you, and I was.
Yeah, with the traffic and all of that, so I just said, no, not going out. Not just stay at home.
And it wasn't only that. I was looking like today is 24th of December, and I'm like, whoa. Teachers have gone on vacation, and I'm sure that Miss Courage really wants to rest, before the school resumes, because this break is really short.
Really short,
Really
very
short.
short.
Yes, I heard some people are resuming on the 3rd and all that. Some are resuming on the 4th. Of course, it's different between 3rd and 4th. So I just said, okay, let me just have a harmless visit. And I said, I have been trying to talk about this topic.
Okay.
What teachers expect from their stakeholders, and having pondered over this time after time, I said, okay, so when I visit you today, we're going to talk about it. So what do you think teachers expect from stakeholders?
So I would like to start saying who our stakeholders are. I'm talking about stakeholders for educational aspects for the teachers' end. Now our stakeholders are students.
Okay.
That's the pupils.
Okay.
The parents.
Okay.
We have the administration.
Okay.
We also have the community.
Okay.
Yeah. And even other teachers too.
Okay.
These are stakeholders.
Other colleagues, okay, yes.
No, so I'll now be taking it step by step.
Okay.
Now from our students, teachers expect these students to be ready.
Okay.
When you come to class, you're having fighting, okay, my kids are coming to class excited to come and teach and all of that. And then you're coming to class where kids are
like they're not ready,
they're not ready, they're not prepared, they know what you want to do. You're not asked, where is your book? It's still inside your bag.
Or you even forgot your book at home.
Thank you very much.
Or you even packed the wrong timetable.
Exactly.
You're having math
you get
today
this, you get this kind of excuse a lot.
Okay.
So teachers expect when you come to the class, they're ready. You come to your class, you're about to teach, and you find that your pupils too. They are very ready for you. Students are very ready for you. Their books are there. There are a lot of questions already for you. And then you're having this going to go. Then your class is going to be very good. Yeah.
Okay, so what I just picked from what Ms. Courage has just said is, it's not only for teachers to prepare their lesson.
Exactly.
Like, prepare your lesson plan, make sure it's ready, prepare your class activities and all that. How about the pupils or the students who you're going to teach? So you have expectations towards them too, okay?
Yeah.
So wow, that's very, very beautiful. So I'm sure that our learners can also hear that teachers have expectations.
Yeah.
So they should always be ready, prepared. If possible, if they have the topics before time, they should study and
Exactly.
because of course teachers also like that. They have an idea of what the teachers will
Yeah,
teach
it
us.
makes the class more interactive. Now, an interactive class makes the pupil learn.
That's the point.
Exactly. To make class. Excuse me, ma. I have this question. You're talking about. Let's give an example. Let me give this. You're talking about natural disasters. And then maybe right then they have their scheme of work already. They have their scheme. Giving them their scheme, so they prepared themselves beforehand.
Yeah.
And then comes the class and you're like, what do you think about natural disasters? What do you think? Actually, give me examples. And then someone stand up. Excuse me, ma, please. I have an example. An example of a natural disaster is the earthquake, the volcanic eruption, and then someone start talking about it, and they will talk about countries that have actually experienced all of this.
It makes your work easy,
You've taught it, and everybody understands. They throw in the question, you answer. You throw your question, they answer, and your class is done.
Yes, and really like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So we've looked at easy for them to understand what
Thank you
you're
very
saying.
much. By the
about
time you
evaporation.
practicalize everything, and they're like, you don't even need to. look for a definition already. The kids will just give you something, and then you're like, wow.
You know when you were saying this, colors were the things that came to my head. I don't know why. I just remembered primary colors and
exactly.
secondary colors. And I remember this child who he never liked to write. He said writing was boring for him. But guess what? Whenever it was time for culture and creative art, that was his thing. You will see him doing this and that. Then when it's days for painting and wow, you've got the best of
Okay,
him.
talking about colors, there was a time I took nursery 2 with them, and writing. My kids are very funny. They are very funny. When you keep on telling them to write and write and write and write by themselves, no matter what you try to do to make them write, find their time.
They won't write it. You know,
They won't write again. That's
kids
just
naturally are like that. That's why as teachers, we must be sensitive and very, very observant. Because when you come and you're talking, you're teaching, you're teaching. Before
get
you
bored,
know
they
it,
get tired of it.
you've lost them.
You know why?
You are just wasting your time.
Exactly.
And I think that's where good resources would make the class. Because, for example, this color thing I'm saying, you can't come and tell me that when you mix blue and red, it will give me this. Well, you can say it and I would hear it. I
But
have
let me
crammed
do
what I
it.
don't have an understanding of.
Exactly.
But when you come and bring this yellow and bring this green and mix it, whatever it gives in the end, I'm sure that when next I'm asked what gives this color, I would be able to tell you.
Yeah.
In fact, I would mix it for you. So I think yes, when you talk about resources, I'm saying it's one big thing that every school administrator should ensure that it is available for a very proper planning of lesson.
Yeah.
And so, but also, don't you think that teachers should also try their own best to measure up in case at times?
Yeah, they should too.
Because you know, for example, I'm also a teacher, and in my head, I have one thing I want to do in my class, and then the school has provided me with these things. But my being able to improvise, should there be one element missing, you
yeah.
know, would make it easier. Okay,
Yeah.
so I also think that in planning of resources, the school administration should do something really good, but the teacher should also not wait, you know, for
Yeah.
a hand, because at times too, when I'm saying not wait, so that it doesn't seem as if one is asking teachers to use their money and buy every single thing that. Yes, what I mean is in cases where you can improvise. For example, you're teaching fraction, you're not going to be waiting for school administration or administratives to be the ones to provide you with whatever you're going to use.
Yeah.
I can get an apple, for example.
Thank you. I was about to say that. Divide the apple. Oh, we're talking about a whole. This is a whole. One
Yeah.
apple. So to get half, you cut it. So half.
Yes.
And you're done. 1/2, half 1. There are 2 apples, so
Yes.
1.
Yes. So yes, beautiful. So okay. So that's one aspect
From-
of your expectation.
yeah,
Yes.
from
Another
administration.
one.
Another one is defending their teachers,
Wow.
having their teachers back.
Yes, like standing up for the teachers.
Yeah. In a situation whereby parents just come and start shouting, maybe they don't like some things, and then they start breaking, showing their displeasure to that thing, and then talking to the teacher, and you know, maybe they might not be able to control their temper and want to just
Yes.
go out of
And
hand.
beat the teacher.
Exactly,
Wow.
just go out of hand.
Does that really happen in your area?
Parents actually, yeah, I've not actually experienced it, but I've
You
heard.
had, okay, like from your other colleagues.
Yes, I've
Wow,
heard so
wow.
much about it, and then you see this there.
And so, what did the
Like-
school administration do?
From the majority of people I heard this from, they were so disappointed. You know, they were so disappointed. Now imagine the teacher didn't retaliate,
Okay.
and at the end of the section, giving the teacher an award
Or being a good.
a good teacher.
Do you
teacher
not
of
have
the
a,
year.
do you not have a similar case? Do you not have a similar case to this?
Because
your
I didn't
story?
retaliate.
Do you not have a similar story? Okay, so I went for a workshop and teachers. It was a teacher's
Okay.
workshop, and so we were all. It was an annual workshop, so we had teachers from both private school, federal school,
Okay.
government, yes, Lagos State School, and all that. And so this particular teacher, sort of when they were saying challenges teachers face, so this teacher said that one of the things she's really, really going to be begging the heads of schools to do for her, especially private school, is to stand up for the teachers. Now she had a case of this child who was a bully in the class, and so every time she kept putting the child in a naughty corner, and now she felt like she wasn't going to put the child in a naughty corner this time around. She was going to look for a place to put the child and give the child responsibility. But she realized that in giving the child responsibility, the child became a bully over
Okay.
other children. Like you have an exit card and you will not let anyone go and use the bathroom because you are the one in charge or stuff like that. And so one of these occasions, she now had to um, have a chat with the child, and the child fled up and started talking. She kneeled down, and then the next thing the child slapped her. She said she was in awe. She has never experienced this in her life, and it was like she saw stars, and it was like she was going to look for a shovel to dig the ground and just fall into it because it was quite embarrassing. Before a colleague of hers who was passing and before other students in the class. I mean, how would they look at her the next day on the assembly? She was so ashamed that even she was saying, can she even come to school the next day? How would she even, a lot of things came to her mind. I can imagine how she felt. But what she told herself was she was going to go first and report to the school administration before taking action because of course in educational school they tell us that when a teacher is angry you don't punish a child at that moment because it can go overboard. So she said she wasn't going to do, she was just going to report first and see how they handle the matter. On getting there, they asked her what did she do to the child. She said she didn't do anything to the child, she just walked out of the class and so they said okay beautiful that they were going to handle it from there. And so she waited, of course, they are in the same school, so she would know if they did something. She waited and waited and waited, and nothing was done. And so that got her upset. The next thing she saw was on the assembly, let's say it happened on a Friday, on a Monday, on the assembly on a Friday, they called her up on the assembly and talked about the incident and told everyone to applaud her. And so they gave her an award that the most tolerant, or I don't know what award she called that, and told them that henceforth that she's going to be the one in charge of I don't know what and what because of, and so she said at the end of the month she resigned. That because what as far as she's concerned, the fact that you didn't do anything to the child in question, maybe the child was the child of a high and mighty who knows. She felt like this one did this and got away with it. Then I don't have any need to come and continue teaching in this class because the next week other students are going to try out
the same thing.
exactly that. So she feels that she needs the school administrative, the headmistress, the headmasters, the proprietors, proprietresses, the school principals, and to stand up for their teachers. I mean, it's just as I would tell a parent, if you don't trust me, then I don't think it's good bringing your children to my school.
Exactly.
Just the way I would say, if you think that you don't trust me enough to handle students or pupils, I don't think that it's good enough for you to employ me. And if you feel that I'm good enough to do the job and you employ me, I think that you owe that much to me to stand up for me, to protect me, so that even when I go wrong, do not just put me out there for parents to
Just
eat me up, and all that. Give me a benefit of doubt. Try to know whatever would have transpired between myself and the parent and judge fairly. But when the child also goes wrong, let the child know that you went wrong and this teacher is an authority over you. So those things really got her so upset, and she left the school. And even after leaving the school, she said she had a battle with herself of should I return to teaching or not. So I told her for just that small thing, because after the workshop, I had to see her. So I told her, just that incident, you want to leave teaching. She said, it's easy for me to say that so many people manage issues differently. That for her, that was the height of it for her. Like it was a no-no for her. And she was like, is this how teachers are treated? Does this mean that, is this how bad it is? That people used to tell her when she became a teacher, that teachers are worthless. Like, is it how bad it is? And all of that. And I'm like, wow.
With this, if someone who wants to be a teacher actually listen to this story,
they'll be discouraged.
Yes, and this is more reason why people don't really value teachers.
Yes.
You're talking about, okay, I had a workshop too, and Mr. Bali, he was one actually addressing us, and he said, before COVID, the two most stressful jobs, or actually the top 5, number 1 is the medical aspect.
Of course, everybody knows that.
Then number 2 is now the school. Teachers in particular. Now teachers go through emotional stress. Every kind of stress. But people don't see it as, because they feel teachers are just
in our next
take care.
Yes, I think in our next show I'm going to talk about the psychological aspect of teaching,
Yeah.
because it's an aspect that people really don't get to. Because most of the time we look at other stakeholders like our learners.
Yeah.
Most of the time we focus on our learners a lot,
Exactly.
and we feel like it's all about learners, but we don't really look at the teachers aspect. So, like you talked about after COVID, for me, I know that medical aspect is a no, 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 no. You
Yeah.
cannot equate with anything. But after COVID, guess what? If anybody had ever put teaching in number 5, I will put teaching
Seriously.
in number 1 if not possible. If I'm not going to be saying, because people will scream and say, "Oh, where
Well,
will you leave the
yeah,
health
yeah,
sector?"
exactly.
But teaching for me
It's
during and after COVID became
truthful. It's not easy.
yes,
It's not easy.
yes.
When you go through all of these things, you're trying to control yourself. Imagine someone just misbehaving. You don't want to touch
Especially
it
when
out.
we went 100% online. Oh, that was the worst of it all. Please, let's not talk about it because it's
So-
for another day. That's a
Exactly.
big one on its
So
own.
we also like administrators or
Okay.
administrators to also appreciate their
Hmm.
teachers. Appreciation goes a long way.
Do not pour water
Appreciate.
into my mouth. I'm telling
Appreciate
you.
your teachers, please. Appreciate your teachers. As much as it's not easy, they need that encouragement. Even if they're not meeting up to that, fine. They have.
Even if you don't pay them.
please
Is that what you mean?
appreciate.
Even if they don't pay you, you don't mind. Just tell me thank you, well done for your work.
Thank you very much. Like,
So,
thank you goes a long way.
Miss
you
Mary,
know-
don't you know that your employer might be watching you?
Please
So-
tell me.
So you're saying even if they don't pay you right, so well, once you're appreciated,
Just-
you're fine.
No, not like.
So I can just
But
tell
we'll
you
sing
thank you.
No, not like that. Not like
You don't
that.
need your salary to
Not
be
like
increased.
that.
You can just tell you thank you.
Not like that. We need it. We
So
really
please,
need
let's
it.
say the things and say, because please do not put me into trouble in the spirit of Christmas. What if
Please
somebody
don't.
is going to come and hand over? No, let's not even start with her. What if your employer is going to watch this program today and was already preparing to hand over something so beautiful, and then see appreciate? So they will just be thinking of coming to visit you and telling you, thank you so
Oh
much.
no,
Miss Corey, thank you, pat you on the back and say,
No,
well
I
done.
don't want it.
So when you say
I
appreciate,
don't want it.
I think it's
No.
going to be explicit. Very explanatory.
Now, appreciation, like, okay, let's talk about the salary aspect.
Okay.
Pay at the right time,
Okay.
complete at the right time.
Whether
When
you
you feel
even if you feel that I should remain on the same salary for the next 10 years. You
pay
don't
at the
mind.
right, not I mind.
Because I mind.
I'm going there.
Okay.
Pay at the right time, and when you see that, okay, this person has been so good, she deserves something. She deserves an increase. Now, let us minus the aspect of money and all of that.
Okay.
Once in a while, we can just come and like, thank you very much. Thank you.
See what you're doing.
It's yes, you're saying exactly. That thank you goes a long way. That at that moment, first like might just be like, I'm tired, I'm done, and all of that. But when you by thank you, I really see what you're doing. You see, there's this happiness, there's this joy in the heart that fine, okay.
Do you know?
Not because it's not eye service, so but
Yes.
I need that
came
thank you at
across-
that point.
I came across a meme on was it LinkedIn? Was it Instagram? And it read, I am not quitting my job. I am quitting my boss.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa,
That's very deep.
I am not quitting my job. I am quitting my boss.
That's very deep.
Wow.
Now this could be a reason for that statement.
And guess what? She's like, imagine on the teacher's day, and don't even say anything. Just walk up to us in the office and say, give us a hug and a pat and say thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for molding life and all that. I think it's better for her than making a fool of teachers. And for her, she can't, because when after reading, the person who posted it happened to be a very good friend of mine.
Wow.
Of course, so I want to know because I'm really, really interested. I'm a teacher too, and I'm interested in all this, and I really want to know because I want this educational industry to grow bigger from the level it is
Exactly.
now and go to a very better level, so that our own kids can grow up and say, "Mommy, I want to become a teacher," and I'm like, beautiful.
Do you know a lot of people when it comes to
Yes.
these kids reject
They
being
don't
a
want to,
teacher.
yes.
They reject it a lot.
And guess what she told me? She said on Teachers Appreciation Day, while she watched her own sister, who is also a teacher, come home with
A lot of
with
kids.
not even a lot of with a particular gift, and she read what was written there. She was like, wow. She said, what happened? Her own kids in school, she doesn't know if it was the school administratives that pioneered that, or they didn't even show consent and the children just decided to do something. That the kids got cardboard and wrote different types of
Yeah, kids,
appreciation.
they do
Yes,
that
and they
now.
called them one after the
Yeah.
other on the assembly. And what upset her was that the school administrators were standing right behind and the kids were doing all that. And so she was expecting that, okay, after that, maybe something good was going to come up and all that. But there was nothing like that. And she's like, wow, okay, so why would it be like that? That's not that. Even if that cardboard that those kids made, it was a card that the school actually made and gave it to every teacher. That's why she's concerned. She didn't think it was too much because when you look at the salary aspect, quantify it with what you give in. That it's nothing to,
You
it's not
can't. It's
measurable.
not
So
measurable
she's
at
not
all.
that she does. So she said she wasn't even going to delve into that. So she was looking like, so she felt like they made a fool of her. That because they were then calling them department by department, like let's say agricultural department, then they call the head of the department to come and collect the cardboard. When they make some cardboards, they're really well designed and you
Yeah.
understand what they were saying.
Yeah.
This one was just like, I just saw cardboard and all that. She's like, what is this? And she was like, oh, if I'm working in a very small school, when I mean a small school, a school that is just starting up, I understand that they can't afford it. But when I'm working in a school that when I open my mouth and tell people where I work, in fact, they expect that I should pay their rent the following day. Because that's the perception they have with the structure they see and
Yeah.
with what's the school fee,
Yeah.
and all that. And so it was so disappointing for her. So after that, and she saw some other things that unfolded, it's like things have been happening and she was making excuses. But after this, she was upset. She didn't know if any other person was upset. But several issues that kept on unfolding and several things. And she's like, okay, I get it. These people are not people that value people.
Yeah.
So she said, there's no point killing myself here because I die to myself every day to give my best to the kids. I die to myself every day to ensure that I meet up with all kinds of learners I have and all that. And to see this, I mean, I don't think I'm
It's very discouraging.
yeah. So she said, I quit you, my boss, but I
That's
don't
my
quit
job.
the job. So then she's going to go and start looking out for schools where teachers are well appreciated because she said, especially in this period of COVID now, that she needs people to appreciate her. She needs someone to say, oh, just like you tell the surgeon, that was a beautiful operation. She needs someone to tell me, oh, that was a good life you just molded. So she needs you to say it and also mean it. That
Appreciation goes a lot.
exactly. So
It goes
I
a long
think
way.
that not only
The administration.
yes, you talked about stakeholders, parents.
Yeah.
In this aspect, too, I think I need parents to appreciate teachers more. And when I'm saying it, parents, please don't get it wrong. We don't need you to come and buy us a car
Thank you.
because
No.
that's what you think. But we don't need you to always look out for every little fault. Like maybe okay, so you wrote this to John. Why would you this not? Try to always look out for it because I remember when we were having this online learning and some parents, of course, everyone has the ID.
Yeah.
So parents were opportune to come into their children's classes. Not like coming, of course, younger kids, they will sign in with the kids and be there. And I observed that parents always kept making complaints and all that.
Yeah.
And for me, I felt like all these parents were therefore were to look down at me or look out on my own fault and so it didn't go down well with me. But where I helped myself during that period was I told myself, don't worry, this criticism is not destructive, it's constructive because it's going to make me a better person. But at times when, for example, you're standing and you're reading and immediately you make mistakes, somebody says, no, that's not it. It is not
You get frustrated, you get tired.
yes. So I was looking from the angle of parents have forgotten that this wasn't our new normal. This wasn't our life before. We are just embracing this and everyone is bound to make mistakes because we're just learning, So these were the things that got me there. So I'm saying, parents, please appreciate teachers. Let them know that you cannot fit into their shoes. Because at times I tell some parents, I say, if we are asked to turn the tables around and say, just for a week, come and teach your kids in school, I'm not sure half of the parents we have would be able to cope.
I don't think
Not
so.
because they don't have stuff upset, because trust me, our parents are intelligent too. But because management of a child is tough. Like I tell myself, I say, you see the preschool thing, it's on my calling. And people laugh. I say, so how do you deal with your kids? But to be honest with you, my darling, it's not so easy. That's why, in fact, whenever I come to visit you and I see you do your thing, I wonder, how do you do it? How do you do it? And in the end, these kids get to write these things. These kids get to read these things. These kids get to learn this. These kids get to blend and sound well. How are you not tired? How are you not tired of they're not getting it all and you going to start all over again? They're going on holiday and coming back and they've forgotten everything. And you're going over again. And I'm like, wow, you're doing a beautiful job. So I think that in this aspect, we need parents to appreciate us and appreciate us for real. Yes.
Students can also appreciate.
Yes.
I've actually come across that when pupils to appreciate. You know, like my
Yeah.
younger sister. I have a younger sister. She's in
Okay.
SS1.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was opportunity to also teach in that school too.
Wow, that's beautiful. Oh, so you taught in your secondary school too?
Actually, the school has a primary school.
Okay, so you taught in the primary
Yeah,
section.
but I was
Okay.
able to mix very well with because I'm very jovial
Okay.
with the
Okay.
teachers, secondary teachers.
Okay.
So they do this thing every little time. There is this time for it, like Valentine's Day. They
Okay.
show love to their teachers.
Wow.
They show love to their teachers.
Wow.
Teachers' Day or the teacher's birthday. The students by themselves without even involving their parents. I see how my staff comes home to tell me just me about how their class are trying to organize a party, their class are trying to organize
A
something
gift or
just
something.
for their teacher.
To say thank you,
Just to
love
say
you.
thank you.
Wow.
Most of them go to the extent of I'm not saying they should continue it, but I'm just amazed at how even my younger sister, it was even her, I was like, wow, you give her snacks money.
She saves it
She says it.
just for the teacher's birthday.
They should come exactly. They should come to me and like
But that means her teacher must also be a fantastic teacher.
very fantastic.
Really.
Mr. Chooks, okay, his name is Mr. Chooks and he's one of a kind.
Wow.
The way he doesn't let the frustration just get he doesn't
Get to
show he's just everywhere and then when they know they've really upset him, you see by the time you've grown this relationship with your students,
Yes, okay.
yeah, so they know when you're angry and when you're happy. So when they know they've really offended you, they still go to meet them like so just
Okay, so we talked about teachers' expectation from the learners.
Yeah. Now from the parents.
From the parents. Okay.
Now parents they have a major role in education,
Beautiful.
especially their children. If you calculate the number of hours teachers spend with their kids and the number of hours the parents spend with their kids too, you can see that as much as teachers have to impart, then parents also have to do their
impart.
own work.
Yes.
Like they have a lot of work to do, just like teachers have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Now,
So we can say that parents have the work of reinforcing
thank
what
you.
the teacher has done in the classroom.
Exactly.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I think that.
So now from the parents, they have to learn or they have to understand that education is very important.
Okay.
When they value education, now the first step is valuing education. When they value education, then every other thing comes to place.
Okay.
Now most parents, especially when it comes to the primary section, they feel school is just a dumping ground for them. They should just come and keep the kids and then they go out to work when they just avoid children from disturbing them.
Okay.
And then when it's close of the day, then spend like 2 hours, 1 hour before they come to pick their kids.
Okay.
Now they need to understand that the school is not a daycare or a crèche where you just drop your kids and they just go off like that. It doesn't concern you. Teachers come to complain that this child is not okay. Let me give an example. Let's just assume, oh David, why didn't you do your homework? He's giving excuses. I felt okay. Let me talk to
The
Mommy
mom.
David. And Mom David comes to the school. Good afternoon, ma'am. I realized that David didn't do his homework. Why? And don't worry, he will do the homework. He will do the homework. And then tomorrow he'll come back, do the homework for David.
So how has she helped reinforce?
Exactly.
How have we been able to ensure that what the teacher has taught? So the reinforcement, and then you've helped David do his assignment.
Exactly.
Thwarting the effort of the teacher who has taken her time to ensure that David can do this. Now,
On his
David
own.
has to continue at home. That's the essence of the homework.
Exactly.
But when the parent do now help to monitor either Rita or Claribel or whoever the child is, it means that there will be a disconnect. So the child comes, for example, after the holiday or after weekend, the child forgets everything.
Everything.
But if the child had done the assignment, at least there wouldn't be a highest chance of the child forgetting, because we always acknowledge that, especially the children in the foundation stages. We're talking about the preschoolers, we're talking about the primary school children. These pupils at this point really do not have object permanence like that. So if parents don't help reinforce what you have done, it makes it difficult for
Very
continuity
difficult.
for you. Okay, so I hope parents are listening too, because they also have the role to play. Because from my own perspective, at times I feel that parents feel that they have paid
They feel they've paid school fees.
So you must make the magic.
Exactly.
And so when you even try to talk to them about the importance of helping the child to continue after the school with the assignments and all that, they feel as if, what do I pay you for? I don't have the time. Now, I'd like to say this so that parents can also pick from this. I understand that parents are very busy because, sincerely, if they don't go out to work, both the father and the mother, it might be difficult. And not even in this period of COVID where it's difficult for just one person to work now. Okay, so but what I advise is when we have parents who both of them are working and they are not always so available due to work and logistics of where they live and where the workplace is situated, they can get a good teacher who will help the child. Now, we're not saying the teacher should do the assignment for the child, but the teacher should ensure that the child does the assignment. So, in case the child cannot do the assignment or has forgotten what the teacher taught, that's the reason why this home tutor can help the child remember, okay, by teaching again what had been taught before in school, and then the child will do it. So that when the child comes back and the teacher observes that this child has not really understood this thing well, you will know where to start from. It's better than not even doing it at all, or the mom, the aunt, or the tutor, home tutor, doing the assignment for the child. It doesn't make the child learn. So I think from this aspect, so parents also know that they have a lot of role. But I would also like to chip in. Now, expectations for me is not only academics, because I tell people that the moral aspect of a child is also one thing. So I also think that it's not only the teacher that will teach a child how to greet, it's not only the teacher that will teach a child how to behave, because before now we have talked about bullying, and I see that a lot of teachers expect parents to help with the upbringing of the child. So when we're talking about expectations in the in sense or in the aspect of parents, we're looking at the parent also helping as learners, both academically and morally, to make the class a better place. Because when you have a place where you're teaching in the class, I have some children who are really distracted. You know, yes, it makes it quite difficult for you, or it makes it quite difficult for that learner who is easily distracted. So this is just a little I also want to chip in. Okay, so
Yeah, and also from that of parents, we talked about valuing education.
yeah,
At the same time, be involved.
hmm.
Be
You're going back to the first topic of this show. Yes, we talked about parenting style and how it affects academic performance of every child. And so when we talked about it, we had a teacher on the show, and he talked about the involvement of parents. That not just the style alone, that what makes the style interesting, what makes a particular style better is the involvement of the parents. Yes, so yes.
You need to be involved. Check your children's work, their homework. See they do it. Give them more exercise if you have the time. Give them more exercises so that these things are being established. Ask questions. Do your teaching style again at home.
Reinforcement again.
Exactly.
Coming back to reinforcement. Beautiful. So parents, you can hear. Please help us reinforce whatever it is that the teachers are teaching in school to make the work easy, right?
Yeah, and they should try to build a relationship with the teacher.
Beautiful.
This
So
is
parents,
very
these are the things parents, teachers expect from you, not only to help us reinforce what we've taught, but also establish a beautiful relationship with the teacher. Because in establishing a beautiful relationship with the teacher, it makes it easy.
Very easy.
Yes. The teacher can easily relate to you, tell you where the child is lagging behind and all that. And when the teacher lays complaint or says, we need this, help us with this, I think that it's also good for parents to, respond positively so that it makes it easy.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Okay.
Don't just query the teacher over anything. Try both of you sit and try to understand why things are not done the way it's supposed to be. Okay, you're expecting your child to be able to do some set, also build their relationship, but at the same time set boundaries.
Set boundaries. So we're going to stop at setting boundaries. It was really a lovely time with you, Miss Corinne.
Actually, I enjoyed myself.
Yes, it was a beautiful time. In fact, I didn't know we're going to have this session this long. I thought we were just going to really quickly look at the highlights of the and all that, because I didn't want to take much of your time, knowing fully well that I had to come and hijack you in the house here and all that. Or, should we call this a home arrest? I don't know what to call it, And so it was really a beautiful time with you, Miss Corinne. Really, thank you for your time. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this chat with you. I'd also like to have you on the show next time. So, viewers, before we finally conclude on this show, I'd like you to subscribe to Teaching Learning Parenting Show channel. Okay, like, all the videos you can see there. Okay, so also click on the notification button. Put your comments below too, because the comment can also help us, either to know about what topics to talk about, or
and
based
your
on
view.
yes, based on your views on the videos we've uploaded so far. So thank you so much, Miss Courage, for your time today. Thank you.
Also add that you should please subscribe.
Okay, so also subscribe to the channel.
Yes, it's very nice.
Yes,
it's very nice.
And I would also like you to always be on the show, because I think I love this beautiful interaction. So we usually have our show every Saturday.
Okay.
Yes, every Saturday at 12 noon. So whenever you're free, and if you're free all the Saturdays, I don't mind having you on the show. It was a lovely time with you.